Sunday night. Now, Cincy has had an impressive 12-4 regular season and are still the AFC defending champs. Joe Burrow was asked if there's a Super Bowl window with his current team. Y'all got to hear what he said. Take a listen.
The window's my whole career, and everybody that we have in that locker room, all the coaches we have. You know, things are going to change year to year, but our window's always open.
Window's always open. Joy Taylor, what you make of that?
I agree with him. I don't even know what's so controversial about it. If you are a franchise quarterback and you're playing, the window's open. Now, I know when Joe says it, it sounds a little spicy.
Yeah, it does.
But it's the truth. Is the Super Bowl window open with Josh Allen?
Yes.
And the Bills? With Patrick Mahomes?
Yes.
And the Chiefs?
Yes.
If you have a franchise quarterback, your Super Bowl window is open.
A franchise quarterback who has been there and done that already. Yeah, I mean, this is coming from a guy who's already been to a Super Bowl and has the Bengals rolling again. And also, isn't this Joe Burrow's MO? I mean, I know that. This is Swag Daddy Joe going back to 2019.
Swag Daddy.
Swag Daddy.
Joe Shiesty.
He's been small. This was before he was ever a pro.
Nah, his swag is different.
He was
crazy.
This was after
Crazy.
he gave Trevor Lawrence that work.
He did.
So he's been this guy for the whole time. He's backed it up every time. He was cocky at LSU, they won the Natty. He was cocky as a rookie, they got better. He was cocky last year, they got to a Super Bowl. What reason has he shown? He's entitled to this. And I mean, look, 3 to 5 years from now, at some point in his career, somebody's going to try to dunk on him for this because that's how we roll. You're looking for somebody's downfall, but he has earned every right of this confidence, I'll call it.
Let me offer this thought, 2-5. Joy Taylor, Dave Hellman. I don't hate it. I love it. I love Joe Burrow. When I met him this offseason, I was like, I get it. I get the swag. It's palpable. It's great in theory saying the Super Bowl window's always open, but it's just incorrect in reality. Because what we know is that once Joe gets his money that he well-earned and well-deserves, that Super Bowl window, it definitely shrinks, y'all. Patrick Mahomes, the first time he finally got his paper adding up into his contract. Last year was the first time he made over $20 million. They didn't go to the Super Bowl. They lost an AFC Championship game. They ain't gone to the Super Bowl since he got paid. Shady, you know what the numbers are. Dave, you know the numbers. Joy, you know the numbers.
No.
Now, more than the numbers for me is we got to remember, unless Joe Burrow is going to have the ability like Tom Brady, which I do believe he does, and or Patrick Mahomes, to turn Wes Welker, an undrafted free agent, into a star, to turn Julian Edelman, a seventh-round wide receiver quarterback in college, into a star, to turn Chris Hogan, a lacrosse player, into a solid player. Unless Joe Burrow has that ability like Patrick Mahomes to turn Justin Watson, a fifth-round pick, Isaiah Pacheco, a seventh-round pick, unless he has that ability, I just think you have to live a little bit more in the reality of, statistically speaking, the Super Bowl window historically in the NFL, it's not always open. Dave, I love me some Joe Burrow, but who do you have in college when he won that Natty?
Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase.
Who was a running back?
Clyde Edwards.
Who was a tight end?
Thaddeus Moss.
Yeah. Just he had a Hall of Famer's son at tight end, a first-round pick at running back, a first-round pick at wide receiver, a first-round pick at wide receiver.
They were loaded.
Now, in the NFL, he has Jamar Chase, he has T. Higgins, he has Tyler Boyd, he has Joe Mixon. All I'm saying is when it's time for all them people to cash in, Joe, you just make sure you got a ring or two by the time all them people re-up and re-up. That's the only thing I have with it. I like the thought, Shady. It's just not actually realistic.
Okay, so that was a lot, right? And you are right. Because he got a lot of great pieces around.
Great pieces.
I would say that he probably has the best offensive supporting cast in the NFL.
That's fair.
But Joe is Joe, and Joe is nice, and he got that swag. Listen, I love everything he said right there. Listen, I'm that guy, and y'all all know it. That's not cockiness. That's the truth. He ain't saying nothing we don't know. So as long as I'm in the Bengals, because before I was here, y'all was regular. Y'all wasn't winning games. Y'all the playoffs here and there, but y'all wasn't winning, right? Truth, they wasn't winning.
No, facts.
Okay,
Big facts.
Right.
Big
we
facts.
winning. We are a team to be reckoned with. People care about seeing us. We got primetime games at Cincinnati because of the swaggy man with the white turtleneck. Joe Shiesty right there. So saying all that, right? I think he earned that type of respect. But even though you're talking about the players that he has, they might not be there because when you get that money, the quarterback gets the money. That's when the team can't really.
Team changes.
Right. So my thing is, though, he showed flashes, though, if he can carry teams. Jamar Chase, who I think is a top 5 receiver.
Was out.
His first year, he was out. T. Higgins up and down with injuries. He still was balling. They still was winning games. I think with a quarterback like this, man, they'll still win games, whoever they got out there, wide receiver.
I want to push back, too. You're going to hate this. I already know ahead of time. I want to push back. The idea, a Super Bowl window doesn't mean you necessarily get to the Super Bowl. It means that you belong in the conversation. It means you're one of the first 3 seeds in the playoffs. I mean, think about the wacky stuff. Again, you know, a Jaquiski Tart dropped interception makes the difference. How about, you know, we had a whole conversation about how Rodgers never gets back to the Super Bowl after his first one. If they field an onside kick in Seattle in 2014, they do. That has nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. And their Super Bowl window was absolutely open. Just because they never played in that Super Bowl doesn't mean they weren't damn close. So I think that counts. Like, Joe Burrow, I think, will have them in the conversation in the AFC for the next decade, and that counts.
But also, if that's the case, Bills aren't winning this year because Josh Allen's been paid. No.
It hasn't hit yet.
Chiefs aren't winning because Patrick Mahomes has been paid. You feel confident with that? There's no chance that they can win the Super Bowl?
No, because the only reason I push back is because I think Mahomes has the ability to elevate everybody else.
So Mahomes is exempt from the paying thing. Because mostly I'm with you. Once the quarterback starts making a certain amount of money, I don't know what it is now that the salary cap number has gone up, but it was 12.4%. If you take up more than that of the cap, you don't win a Super Bowl because you can't have the pieces around you. I can't be the only one who knows that statistic. So I'm sure that teams are also aware that they need to structure contracts similar to the way that they did Patrick Mahomes, so it doesn't completely keep them from paying somebody like a Travis Kelce. Now, it did keep them from paying Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, and Patrick Mahomes has not missed a beat since then.
And that's my question, Joy, is like, we've never seen Joe Burrow lack talent.
But again,
ever.
You can't. So if you don't win a Super Bowl, you didn't have a Super Bowl window. That's where I'm with Dave. Like, if you're a contender every single year, your window is open. Things have to go your way. You have to have breaks like the ones that you mentioned in order to get to the Super Bowl.
Because he didn't win a Super Bowl with the guys he had anyway.
And correct. I'm agreeing with that. If the Super Bowl window being open just means he's a contender, Joe Burrow will be a contender for as long as he plays in the National Football League. Coming up, the Dallas Cowboys, we know they are Super Bowl contenders, but head coach Mike McCarthy, he hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. Golly, he might be in the hot seat if he loses on.
Be $55 million, so it's essentially $100 million anyway. Then he's a free agent and can go wherever he wants. So would you rather have that or have him locked up for the next 4 years, which I think Lamar will be good for the next 4 years, probably get a little bit better deal, have more flexibility on the deal, and while you're at it, maybe you could add some pieces to the offensive side of the ball to help Lamar out so he's not trying to do everything all the time. We know Lamar Jackson can throw the ball. Maybe stop worrying so much about paying Lamar Jackson and add a number 1 receiver. Maybe bolster the running game a little bit. How about that? We don't talk about the Baltimore Ravens and the offensive pieces for a reason. Really not there. Like, Lamar is also who's there?
The reason I'm frustrated with that statement is because they drafted a number 1 pick at wide receiver.
What's he doing?
And he got hurt.
What's he doing?
I'm saying,
and you didn't say him getting hurt.
Since Lamar was drafted.
You don't get. Okay, listen. I appreciate that you keep trying. Guess you're gonna have to do it again.
So, but that's my point. Is like
that's not Lamar's fault.
We can't though act as if the Ravens aren't giving Lamar pieces.
Okay.
Not proven pieces.
And they're not proven pieces.
But the proven piece would have to be in the NFL already.
Hold up. We've seen that. We do that for every other quarterback. Every other quarterback, we say who he has, who he's working with, and who he deserves to have on his roster in order to help him. But we don't do that with Lamar. Why?
Because receivers also have to want to play there. Hollywood Brown was a number 1 pick who did not want to be in Baltimore. Now, he loves Lamar. Him and Lamar like this.
He dropped a lot of Lamar's touchdowns, too.
He absolutely did.
My God.
But Hollywood Brown did not want to be in Baltimore.
Is Hollywood Brown the number 1 receiver where he is now?
No, because they have DeAndre Hopkins, who's the first ballot Hall of Famer. But Hollywood Brown didn't want to be there. Hollywood Brown's a 1,000-yard receiver.
Hollywood Brown wouldn't be solving the problem if he was in Baltimore because he's not a number 1 receiver. What I'm saying to you is there's multiple levels of issues with the Baltimore Ravens outside of Lamar Jackson. And I don't think anyone is really going to argue that Lamar Jackson doesn't carry this team. Whether that's what's resulting in his injuries or not, I'm saying maybe there's a little bit to him feeling like he has to do everything because he does, that he's doing as much as he is. And maybe that's what's causing him to be injured. I don't know. But at the end of the day, we know what they are without Lamar Jackson. And who are you replacing him with?
And to back her up, you acting like the people don't make, or teams don't make big splashes and trades for number 1 receivers. How did DeAndre Hopkins even get to Arizona?
He wanted to want to go there.
Man, hold on for a second.
Yep.
They made that work.
Correct.
Okay, and then, Kyler Murray wasn't like this. I want to play for Kyler Murray.
That offense.
Okay, and then number 2, even Stephon Diggs.